Las Vegas has a reputation as Sin City, where anything goes. But did you know you can be asked to leave some areas of a Las Vegas hotel over an Advil? Or that taking a selfie can get you kicked out of a hotel casino? On today's episode of the Infographics Show, we're going to be counting down the most surprising rules Las Vegas hotels strictly enforce. Rule number 15. You must be 21 years old to book a room on the Las Vegas Strip. Think you could soak in all of Vegas's glitz and glamour no matter your age? Not so fast. Most Las Vegas hotels enforce a strict policy. Anyone under 21 is banned from bars and the casino floor. This is because 21 is the legal age to drink and gamble in the U.S. But here's the kicker. Most hotels won't even let 20-year-olds book a room. And yet, those same hotels offer plenty of non-gambling entertainment options, world-class shows, fine dining, luxury shopping, and unforgettable concerts. Some hotels like Circa and El Cortez have gone further to declare themselves adult-only properties, meaning no one under 21 is even allowed to step foot on the premises. Maybe you took a trip with an older friend who booked a room. It doesn't matter. You still won't be allowed in a lot of the hotel's spaces, like pool bars or clubs, and you certainly won't be allowed to hang around on the casino floor. If you're under 18, things get even tougher. Most outsiders don't realize this, but the entire Las Vegas metro area enforces a strict curfew for teenagers. In fact, even local teens with part-time jobs ending late need to carry special paperwork to avoid trouble on their way home. For all the glitz, glamour, and non-stop fun Vegas promises adults, it's a different story for kids. If you're an unaccompanied minor in Las Vegas, the rules are even stricter. On weekdays, you're banned from being out between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. On Fridays and Saturdays, the curfew extends from midnight to 5 a.m. And on the Las Vegas Strip itself, the restrictions are even tighter. Unaccompanied minors must be off the streets and out of public spaces by 9 p.m. on Fridays, Saturdays, and public holidays. For those 21 and over who do book a room, be warned that rule number 14, Las Vegas hotels check rooms at regular intervals. You might think putting up a Do Not Disturb sign during your Vegas stay will maintain your privacy, but that is not the case. In fact, you probably won't even find a Do Not Disturb sign at all, but we'll get to that later. Most Vegas hotels state that employees must enter and check each guest's room at standard intervals, ranging from 24 hours to 3 days, for safety and security reasons. Some journalists and other online sources believe this policy was tightened after the tragic events of 2017. A gunman stockpiled weapons and ammunition over 3 days in his Mandalay Bay hotel room before killing 58 people and injuring hundreds more at a music festival below. But the owner of Mandalay Bay told CBS that even before the tragedy, the hotel already made mandatory welfare checks on any room that had a Do Not Disturb sign for 2 days in a row. Hotels check guests' rooms for both hotels and visitor safety. Las Vegas didn't earn the nickname Sin City for nothing. Many hotel guests stumble back to their rooms after a long night of drinking, or worse, impaired in ways that set the stage for bad, sometimes life-threatening decisions. In 2022 alone, 344 visitors to the city died of accidents. Security also has found guests doing anything from overdosing to making meth. This has led to a small change in the signs guests can put on the doors. Instead of saying "Do Not Disturb," they now say "Room Occupied." Caesars Entertainment explains why they did it: to better communicate our company policy of accessing guest rooms for housekeeping, maintenance, room checks, or any other appropriate purpose. In other words, don't expect any privacy. Speaking of reasons employees might check your hotel room, rule number 13, Las Vegas hotels ban in-room parties. No parties allowed in Las Vegas? Though people do get away with it sometimes, most Las Vegas hotels ban in-room parties. They claim it's all about safety, minimizing property damage, and most importantly, keeping the peace for other guests. They also don't want a bunch of non-paying strangers wandering around the hotel all night. But we suspect the rule also exists to keep you spending money in hotel bars and clubs. Guests have shared multiple stories of being kicked out of hotel room parties. One person on Reddit said, "The party doesn't have to be especially rowdy or big for hotel security to break it up. I have been escorted by security out of the Palms twice from parties. Neither of those are what I would call overly large or excessive, maybe 10 or 15 people tops." According to one source who works at a Las Vegas hotel, if anyone with a local zip code books a hotel room, they will be extra alert to goings-on in their room. It seems some locals book suites for all-night ragers. If you really have to party, keep the noise to a minimum and don't invite a bunch of people. Having your friends over that are also guests in the hotel is much less of an issue. But that's not the only restriction for your Las Vegas hotel room. Rule number 12. Hotels ban outside food and beverage as well as coolers. If you're planning to skip the pricey restaurants and eat in your room instead, think again. Security is not a fan of guests rolling in cartloads of supplies from Costco. Some hotels on the Strip don't even allow outside food and beverages. Las Vegas hotels are strict about banning any form of in-room cooking. And for good reason. Not only is it a serious fire hazard, but let's face it, they're not exactly confident their guests will be sober or sound of mind while attempting it. But like other rules, it keeps hotel guests spending all their money in the hotel's bars and restaurants. Or if you want an absolutely terrible deal for your money, the in-room minibar. That way you can get a can of Red Bull for only $12. In Las Vegas, the house always wins, so even if you do win in the casino, the hotel is set up to make you spend all your money in it anyway. But not for too long because rule number 11. Hotel stays are limited to 7 or 14 nights. This has to do with the legal rights of the customer. As Nevada Legal Services puts it, if you have resided in a motel for longer than 30 days or you manifested an intent to remain for a longer continuous period, you are legally a tenant. In this case, manifesting means booking for longer than 30 days, not visualizing your dream future in a double room at the Venetian. For that reason, most hotels in Nevada and around the country will make you check out after 28 or 29 days and stay off the property for at least 24 hours. But many Las Vegas hotels have even shorter maximum lengths of stay. The Wynn and Bellagio, for example, don't let you book a room for more than 14 nights in a row. At Caesars Palace, you have to call if you want to book a longer stay. The MGM Grand also limits stays to 14 days. Why? Well, part of that reason is so you don't ever get near the mark at which you turn into a resident. No one at the Bellagio is in the mood to start eviction proceedings against a 22-year-old frat boy on a bender who won't leave his bed. There's another rumor floating around about why Las Vegas hotels encourage shorter stays. It's not just about keeping rooms available for new guests, it's about keeping you gambling. After a few days, guests are less likely to hit the casino floor, either because they lost interest or, more likely, they've run out of money. If you do want to stay long-term in or around the Las Vegas Strip, a life choice we urge you to strongly reconsider: find an extended stay property. After 30 days, they'll have you sign a rental agreement. Rule number 10. Hotels assume stained casino chairs have pee and must be cleaned with an extractor. To be fair, it could also be other types of human waste, like feces. But according to several hotel employees on the Las Vegas Strip, the amount of human waste found on chairs in the casino is truly horrifying. When it comes to gambling in Vegas, time has no meaning. Gamblers locked in a hot streak will do anything to avoid leaving their seat, convinced their next spin or hand could be the big one. Some spend hours, some entire nights at the tables or slot machines, chasing dreams of a life-changing win. And for others, it's not about winning it big anymore, it's about clawing back enough to cover their mortgage. All of this is happening while they're getting complimentary drinks, which results in accidents. Sometimes they're not even accidents. Yes, you heard us. In any case, hotel employees may lie and tell you it's just a spilled drink, but a cleaner will come in after with an extractor to remove the stain. When the jackpot calls louder than your bladder, it's time to reevaluate your life. Rule number 9. Las Vegas hotels employ canine teams for security and bed bugs. The next time you're strolling through the lobby of the Wynn and spot a German Shepherd sporting a stylish vest, think twice before reaching out for a pat. That little pup isn't your typical furry friend. It's a highly trained member of the hotel's elite canine security team, and the serious-looking handler beside it is all business. Canine teams are trained to sniff out explosives and firearms. These dogs, usually German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, or Labradors, get extra training so they can work in the loud, crowded, and generally overstimulating environment of the casinos. In addition to Wynn, Caesars Palace, MGM, the Venetian, and Resorts World, a few other famous strip hotels use canine detection teams. But in the last few years, they have also been trained to detect another serious threat to hotel guests: bed bugs. In addition to being unhealthy for guests, bed bugs result in both bad customer reviews and rooms having to be closed off for cleaning and pest control. Plus, a handful of bed bugs can quickly lead to the infestation of a whole hotel room floor. so dogs sniff them out and allow hotels to deal with the problem before it becomes a guest-annoying, money-losing nuisance. You can also come across casino security in other ways, most of which you don't want, like rule number 8. Don't card count or try to game the system. Here's a completely unsurprising fact. Hotel casinos in Las Vegas like to make money. They make money because the house always has the advantage. Card counting and similar tricks give players the advantage instead, and the casinos aren't really fans of that. If a dealer or a nearby security guard thinks you're counting cards, they're going to keep a closer eye on you. If they become almost positive you're card counting, expect a very big, very stern gentleman to walk over and ask you to leave. Casino security staff is trained in card counting techniques, and some casinos have software that detects if a player's behavior indicates card counting. You may think, hey, I have my rights, counting cards isn't illegal, and you would be right. But Las Vegas hotels don't really care about your rights. They're a private property and a business, and they reserve the right to kick anyone off their premises at any time. There's more bad news for you. High-end Las Vegas casinos use facial recognition software, and if you've been caught card counting, your face is on there, and every hotel on the Strip has access to it. What if you were wrongly accused and not counting cards at all? Unfortunately, hotels file that under your problem, and they never deal with it again. Rule number 7. You must show ID to cash out large amounts. Guests who win over $10,000 and try to cash out will be asked for ID by the cashier. Some hotel casinos will ask for ID even with smaller amounts. While this might seem like an unfathomable fortune to most, for the filthy rich or the dangerously reckless, it's pocket change. To them, it's just a couple of roulette spins and a shrug when the wheel devours it all. Casinos, like all institutions that deal with money, are governed by the Bank Secrecy Act, or the BSA. It's a national law that makes every financial institution report cash transactions over the amount of $10,000. If you forgot your ID upstairs, you can always give a few chips to each of your friends and have each person cash out smaller amounts. It's a good test for how much you trust your loved ones, but if they fail, you'll lose next month's rent. And there's also the small matter of it being a structured transaction, which is a crime. Rule number 6. Don't use your cell phone at a casino table. Do you want to finally take a break from the endless notifications on your phone? Relax and disconnect without looking at your screen? Head to the nearest Las Vegas hotel poker table. Perhaps that's not the meditative retreat you had in mind, but you probably won't be able to use your phone at all as long as you're sitting down and playing. Phones are banned to avoid cheating, as well as another surprising common phone behavior you'll find about later. People use apps on their phones to card count and even text other players at a poker table to strategize. In Nevada, using an electronic device to help you play cards in a casino is a felony. Perhaps that's why casinos have pretty thick walls and cell phones don't get good reception on the casino floor anyway. If you have AT&T, you'll barely notice a difference. So if you can't use your smartphone as a phone, what else are you supposed to do with it anyway? Take pictures? If you want to be escorted out by the same angry large security man from before, sure. Because rule number 5. You can't take photos or videos around the hotel casino floors. Some visitors think taking photos in casinos is illegal, but no, it's just hotel policy. Most casinos ban photo and video taking on and around the casino floor. First off, they want to protect their guests' privacy. Even in the age of influencers, not everyone wants to appear in photos and videos without their consent. Some people don't want others to know they're gambling, and they don't want to be shown on social media in a casino. And again, it all comes back to cheating. If you're taking photos of gameplay around the casino, you could use that to figure out methods to beat the odds. The first major hotel brand to break with decades of casino tradition when it comes to photos and videos is MGM. Realizing that their younger customers want to take selfies and capture their Vegas memories for the world to see. MGM has made some allowances for that on its properties. Guests can take photos and short videos of only their own hands and gameplay at a table, but not of casino staff or other guests. But you can take a selfie within the hotel lobby itself, away from the casino floor. To stop guests from cheating, hotel casinos have one more weird rule you may never have thought of. Rule number 4. Only English is allowed at table games at the casino. This mostly applies to poker tables, and it isn't as racist as it first sounds. If two players at the table know each other and they start chatting in another language, they could be conspiring to manipulate the game. Figuring out which hands to play ensures one of them takes home the pot. For casinos, maintaining fairness is everything, and this rule helps keep the game above board. Usually, if you slip up and you speak to your friend in another language once, the dealer will politely remind you of the rule. At Excalibur, one person said, a couple of non-English speaking players were talking across the table, and the dealer told them twice that it was English only. He told them that if it happened again, they would have to leave. So, what happens if you're visiting Las Vegas with your friends or family and no one speaks English? Well, then it's a good idea to just not talk to each other during gameplay. If you want to chat, sit one round out, or get up from the table for a bit. Away from the casino floor, Las Vegas hotels have plenty of surprising rules for other parts of their properties as well. Rule number 3. No medication, eye drops, or other liquids at the pool. The pools at Las Vegas hotels should have a fun-loving party time free-for-all kind of atmosphere, and they deliver. Unless you have eye drops in your purse, or you want to bring tanning spray with you or perfume, then you can leave. Why so strict? Las Vegas hotels don't want liquid spilling into the pool and contaminating the water, more so than it already is from the 300 drunk guests that have waited in it. Though this mostly applies to alcohol, it applies to plenty of other liquids as well. Have a headache or hangover and want some Advil? Try again. Hotel pools have a zero-tolerance policy against drugs, which includes most prescription and over-the-counter medications. These rules apply at Daylight, Marquee, Tao, Wet Republic, Elia, Liquid, basically most of the major Vegas party pools. But good news, hotel pools will usually let you carry your EpiPen, inhaler, or diabetic kit as long as you have a doctor's note or a prescription. So if you accidentally eat a nut and start reenacting a fight scene from an action movie with your own airways, you are graciously permitted to save your own life. How thoughtful of them. Rule number 2. Don't open the windows. Many Las Vegas hotels ban guests from opening their room windows. Some even have signs in the room saying, "If you open the window, an alarm will sound." Other hotels have gotten around this problem by building windows that can't be opened in the first place, while still including smoking rooms and floors, which we're sure is great for ventilation. There was a long-standing rumor that might explain why Las Vegas hotels don't have windows that can be opened. The story goes that for gamblers who have just blown their life savings at the craps table, an open window on the 30th floor might be too much of a temptation. While this may have some truth to it, there is another simpler reason. Vegas Strip hotels are cheap. To be clear, we don't mean on your wallet. That will suffer plenty during a Vegas stay. But at some point, hotels realized that having a bunch of open windows messed up their air conditioning throughout the hotel, resulting in higher AC bills. While an inefficient AC might be annoying in your studio apartment, it is extra annoying and expensive in a 30-story hotel with hundreds of rooms. Building windows that can open are also more expensive, as hinges and moving parts require more money and maintenance. Not to mention, when outside particles get in constantly, they wear out a room faster. This is especially true in the blazing desert environment of Las Vegas. The sad rumor about why open windows are banned leads us to our craziest and perhaps most shocking rule in Las Vegas hotels. Rule number 1. They hide news about violent deaths. This is one of the saddest and most controversial unspoken rules of Las Vegas hotels. When people say, "What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas," we hoped it was referring to something more fun. Most of the city's money comes from gambling and tourism, and hotels, as well as the city itself, want to keep their image fun and happy to keep the money coming. In 2022, about 1,900 visitors died in Las Vegas. While most of them died from natural causes, there were some unnatural deaths that happened on hotel property. Vegas locals have their own theories about how hotels handle certain delicate situations. Some allege that when a guest passes away from natural causes, hotels quietly move the body to another location before calling it in. This is because, as the rumor goes, discovering a dead body triggers a mandatory 2-week quarantine of the room, 2 weeks of lost revenue that no hotel is eager to endure. While these claims remain unverified, they add another layer to the mystique and secrets of Sin City's bustling hotel industry. Either way, Las Vegas hotels try to make as little of a deal as possible about dead guests. Which Las Vegas hotel rule surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Now go check out crazy true stories from casino security or click on this video.